Hey guys, haven't updated in a while. I didn't know if anybody cared that I was MIA. I'm basically dead. I think what I have is COVID. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, down for the count. Going through some things. Don't even really want to be on camera right now. I've never felt so ugly, depressed, bloated, horrendous in my life. Like I've never felt so ugly. Um, and I wasn't really going to discuss this because, well, quite frankly, I think a lot of people, um, I don't know, I think they take vulnerability and they see it as a weakness, and I try my best not to appear weak, but like, what does that mean? If we can't be vulnerable and express ourselves, what is the point of having a throat chakra? If we can't speak openly the way we want to talk, what's the point? You know? I have to be okay with the way that people send energetic attacks anymore. I work online in a spiritual career. I have to be okay with the fact that sometimes evil eye gets sent my way. And it's strange because another reader that I saw, she went live. It was like the first time she'd gone live in a while doing paid readings, and she got like wiped out. And you could tell after she went offline, she like was posting stuff that seemed really depressed, and like she didn't sound like herself. And I tried my best to cheer her up, but a lot of people did, but I don't know. It's like, I don't even think she posted again. So sometimes when you go online and you, you know, say things that other people do not appreciate, you can have a form of retaliation hit you. And for me, it was a lot of evil eye from a lot of people at one time. So, it's fine. I just have to transmute it. And what's really sucky is that one, I can't smell or taste anything. Two, I can hardly breathe. And three, I am faced with this overwhelming sense of anguish that I've been trying to run from for a really long time because there's nothing left to do literally but lay in bed all day and journal. It's like diary and my pillow. Diary and my pillow, and that's it. It's really freaking boring. And so, like, one thing I've needed to look at, and perfect time to do so is when you're sick and dying, is the whole false twin flame thing. I've been on this journey so long, I actually thought that my false twin flame was the guy that I put in prison. Remember that? Yeah, that was a fun time, and I was telling you guys about how a dark magician, he was in a coven, and he was sending me a lot of psychic and spiritual attacks. He went to prison, and, he took his life. But he was just a very lost soul. There's more to that story, so much more, and I'll write it in a book one day when it finalizes. Not my book, the story. There's more to it in that souls don't really ever die, guys. Souls don't die. People can reincarnate, and I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm really gonna leave it there. I thought it was that guy. That was my false twin. That was my real twin. After that, though, after I was getting all those psychic attacks online, I told you guys about it. I was being harassed by that guy, right? I begged God to clear the contract, so I did. I did a lot of unbinding spells. I tried to remove myself from him. He and I bound ourselves in a past life using some sort of bone ritualistic magic. I'm not sure what we did, but I had it confirmed with a psychic that he and I actually bound ourselves with witchcraft in a past life, which was fucking ignorant. Anyway, so I was being harassed, targeted, stalked by him and a coven, because he was the leader of a coven, and I finally had to learn how to defend myself energetically, and that's when I learned about Return to Sender. I started with shielding myself, warding myself. I met a couple really cool, very powerful high priestesses that would come into my life and teach me a thing or two about a thing or two. Started actually protecting myself, and next thing I know, I get this dream with him in it, and he's like, if you don't stop doing this, and you're going to send me to prison. Because, like, all of the psychosis that he was sending me, I sent back to him. It was his. So he sent me a lot of mental instability, a lot of, like, derangement. He was sending me all kinds of really horrendous things. Next thing I know, yeah, the dream, he was like, you're going to end up sending me to prison. And I swear to God, if you send me to jail, I'm going to end it. And I remember waking up and I felt like, well, I felt really bad because I was like, that's like the shittiest thing you can do to somebody, is guilt trip them. And secondly, I was also kind of relieved because that's what I was trying to do. I was literally trying to manifest him going to jail because he's a criminal. He's a spiritual criminal. Anyway, he was. He was. And again, I'm not glorifying suicide. I would never, ever, 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 ever in a million years suggest that. But because our souls are eternal, he's not actually dead. Neither are any of my grandparents or ancestors. Neither are any of yours. You know what I mean? So he took his life in jail, and I thought that I was relieved of that burden because he wasn't able to use witchcraft against me anymore and have all of his coven buddies sending me some horrific things. So what happened was I met this other guy during the 222 portal, the 2222 portal. I was getting a lot of messages from Spirit that there was a portal opening then for a lot of soulmates to come through, which I was like pretty stoked about because a lot of my clients were like, oh, I'm so excited. I could feel that this guy is coming in my dreams, and I had dreamt about this guy about a month, maybe 2 months before, I think, around there. I'm not sure. He was in my apartment in the dream, and I'd never met this guy before that portal. And once I met him, I was like, oh my God, the one that was in jail was my false twin flame. That's why he was so horrendous to me, because he wasn't even the right one. So I was so convinced. I was like, this new guy, I was like, oh my God, it's him. Like, he was spiritual. He talked to me about angels, like a whole bunch of really cool stuff we learned together, and Reiki and healing, and we talked about God, and it was just crazy. Our faith was similar in that we believed in Jesus, but we both were technically pretty spiritual, and that we weren't religious really so much. But I think he was still a little bit more religious than I was. Anyway, fast forward a year and a half, and I'm realizing, nope. No, that's actually not my twin flame either, which kind of sucks because the twin flame journey itself can only be confirmed by you as to who your twin is. It's your soul, after all. Don't listen to a reader telling you that so-and-so is your twin flame. Don't even listen to me. If I tell you in a reading like that's your twin flame, you are the one that determines if it's your twin flame or not. At the end of the day, it's you. It's your soul. Is that person your soul? Do you know your soul that well? Thought I did. So, anyway, fast forward to a few months ago, and I meet, dun dun dun, yeah, jail guy, but like his soul in a different, in a different body. I know what you're thinking. Wow, that's kind of outlandish. And you'd be right, but I also talk to dead people on like a daily basis. So what's outlandish anymore, guys? What's crazy? What's sane? What's crazy? What's any of it? So anyway, my ex, the one that, left this world, fucking came back. Yeah. So there's that. So anyway, met him 3 months ago. Just the most bizarre meeting ever. It's still even kind of, like, I don't think he believes me when I was telling him about it. I didn't tell him verbatim what it was. I was kind of hinting around that he's a soul walking. And I think at a soul level he understands, but I don't, yeah, he's not there yet. He's not there yet. So anyway, 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, I meet my real twin, only this time he's gone to the light. This time, Spirit has shown me that when he was out of the world, he was given a task. He was told, either you can help Jenna ascend from the other side and pay back karmic debt that way, or you can incarnate. It's up to you. So he was given a choice, and this is what my guides told me. He was given a choice: either incarnate and come back and help her in the flesh, do twin flame mission, or you help her from the other side as a guide, and that's cool too, but like, he saw how sad I was. So Spirit was showing me like he was really, really sad, or I was really sad, and depressed because, you know, I had lost so many people, and he wanted to come back in the flesh. So anyway, that happened, and I met him 3 or 4 months ago, and then now we're in telepathy. Oh my god, the telepathy all day, every day, dreams, just you freaking name it, it's happening. Way more than this other guy I met. It was a soulmate, I guess, in 2022. So there's really only 2 guys. Okay, there's really only 2. I know I'm talking about like a million people, but it's really only 2 souls here. The one that passed on, he incarnated back, but now this time, his karmic coven is still very much around him, but this time it's at a soul level, they're still gravitating towards him. Is what Spirit has been showing me is he still has the same group, like they're the same karmic contracts, but he's much more willing in this lifetime to break those karmic contracts because he's already gone to the light. On the other side, his soul went to the light. He already got purified. Like his all of like what would have actually made him mentally unstable in his previous lifetime, which is actually still my lifetime, which is really fucking crazy if you think about it. Anyway, that is still the same coven. He's with those friends now, actually, as we speak. I think maybe even he's still technically with them now, but that is something that over the course of the last 3 or 4 months since we've known each other, we've known about each other, he has been working through a lot of karmic contracts, as have I. So then today, when I'm down at rock bottom, basically begging and pleading to God to like take whatever this is from me, I'm being told, okay, sure, I'll totally heal you, not a big problem. But here's the thing, you have to sit your ass down, shut up for 2 seconds, and get over your false twin. And I thought for the longest time, like my false twin, the guy I met in 2022, let's name him Brandon. I thought that Brandon was my twin flame, and I had all these signs and synchronicities. He was the first telepathic connection I ever had. He was super spiritual. The dreams were crazy. The astral travel together, like the astral experiences he and I had romantically. Oh my god. Whoa, how was La Loche says to take me home to him, okay? So I was cool with it. I was cool with Brandon being the one. And I got all these tarot readings that were confirming it. Like, yeah, no, it's him for sure, for sure. The reason jail guy was a total asshole and in a fucking cult was because he was not your real twin, and he had to manipulate your energy because he was, you know, deranged. So, we're going to give you a gift, and it's this guy, Brandon. Congratulations. You get to now be with your twin flame. And I was like, woohoo, hip hip hooray. But then a whole year and a half went by, and I'm like, dude, there's like no commitment from this guy. There's no commitment. He doesn't even talk to me. He doesn't have any plans for the future with me at all. And the weirdest thing is, it took me a year and a half to even ask myself, do I see him in my future? Like, it's one thing that he doesn't see me in his, but I didn't even sit down for 5 minutes to ask myself, like, do I see him in my future? I remember when I was married, my husband asked me one day, he's like, well, he was just talking about sitting on the porch when we were 90 years old, sipping lemonade, and I'm like, that's cute. I've never seen the future with you, man. And I know it sounds harsh, and it was very harsh, and I got divorced a few months later because of this, because I just realized, holy shit, I don't see my future with you at all. We don't even have a future, man. And I've been with you almost a decade. So here it is, Brandon is finally getting the boot. And it took me having COVID today. I mean, for the last almost week, and I'm just like down for the count. And that's what the universe will do, man. It'll sit your ass down, make you shut up real fast. to where you can't even breathe. Like, it's really hard for me to breathe right now and talk at the same time. But yeah, he was definitely not making any strides towards me at all. Spiritually speaking, he was healing, but only when I would give energy to him. Otherwise, he wasn't wanting to. This is the thing with a spiritual narcissist. Like, you can give them all the energy in the world. That's the only reason they're changing. It's not. My God, what the hell? 5 cars just showed up randomly out of nowhere. They all just turned the corner at the same time when it's been completely... Yeah, oh my God. Oh my God, this guy just walked past me and he was noticing the same thing. He just looked at all these cars like, what the fuck was that? A glitch in the Matrix? Bro, he just legit looked... Actually, he looked like Brandon a lot. Holy shit. Guys, look, I'm not even kidding. Like, this is so weird, but that's what happens anymore. Everything's so magical in my life. So anyway, the 5 cars in a row, and there's been nothing out here. The dude had to do a double take. He was like, what the hell just happened? Is that a glitch? I feel like that's a glitch. I feel like a glitch just happened in the Matrix. Anyway, what was I talking about? Brandon, yeah, okay, so here's the thing. I didn't want to talk about this because I don't really like calling people narcissists. I mean, contrary to popular belief, because I call people narcissists a lot. But yeah, no, totally a narc. Totally a narc. I'm getting that now. Doesn't mean I don't love him though. Doesn't mean he didn't have love for me. I think, I don't know. I'm just not afraid of him anymore. I used to be so afraid that he would retaliate against me or hurt me if I were to say something like that. Like, I think you're a narcissist. When I first met him in 2022, I was confident, I guess technically speaking, as independent as I has ever been. I'd never been that independent before. I'd had the best year financially the prior year. I moved out of my parents' home, got my own place, and I was pretty much living what I would consider my best life. And then I met him, and then it just, like, it tanked. His money went up. Everything in his life did better, but not so much. And I just kept trying to manifest him because I'm like, okay, so this is a test. And that's what I was getting in all these readings. They were like, okay, well, he's your twin flame. I was like, okay, so all I need to do is manifest it, right? So I started getting way better about my self-concept. I started looking at myself differently in the mirror. I started telling myself, like, I am beautiful. I am chosen. I am worthy. He's an idiot for not seeing my worth. I'm a fucking goddess. Like, I started telling myself all this stuff, and like, it wasn't working. It wasn't working on me. Not even him so much. It wasn't working on me. Like, I didn't understand what was going wrong. Every time I would go on a live stream, I felt pummeled. And this was my livelihood. This is what I was making money doing. And I finally figured it out. Like, holy shit. Not only is my family stalking me when I told them to leave me alone and never contact me again, they watched me on my live streams, but he was too. And they would energetically drain the life force out of me, and so I sadly couldn't make any money for myself. And so in 2022 and the first half of this year, it's been the worst year. Plural. Oh, I say that and there's a wasp right next to me. Oh, that's creepy. Worst years financially for me, and it has everything to do with the fact that I've been, well, I guess, chasing a narcissist. Chasing him. Because I didn't somehow think that I was worthy of being chased myself. So it's really sad, but that's what I've been dealing with. Because the heartbreak from the other guy, which we can call him Craig, the guy in jail, was so bad. But like, even like, because he's my twin, really. So that pain hurt so bad that I was like desperate to just cling on to something else that could give me hope. And I remember feeling like, okay, so it's this guy then. Because the way that Brandon and I met, the synchronicities, I mean, the serendipity, the telepathy, the dreams, and everything. I was like, okay, so it's Brandon then. And he was my better option at the time, of course. I mean, anybody's better than a freaking cult leader slash coven ritualistic witch warlock that's sending you black magic. Anything's better than that, right? Anything is better than that, right? So I decided, okay, I'm going to go all in. So I did a lot of energy cord removal. I removed everything and everyone from my energy. And I was like, I'm just going to devote myself to my business and this new guy. But of course, he didn't devote anything to me. Nothing. But I was still so convinced because I'd had a lot of readings and a lot of practitioners saying the same thing, like, this guy's the real one. The other guy was the false one. So I was like, okay, yeah, well, that makes sense. So I'm going to keep trying, and I'm going to keep manifesting. I'm going to keep affirming. I'm going to keep scripting. I'm going to keep manifesting. I'm going to keep visualizing. I'm just going to see us together. But the thing is, I never saw us together, like, ever. I mean, it would, in my visualizations, and this was when I was legit trying, guys. This is when I would fucking sit there and meditate, consciously deciding to visualize, to manifest. With nothing on, just my eyeballs closed and just hearing my own self-talk. I would only ever get as far as, like, being with him for, like, a day or two. Like, I could never see kids or a house or us doing life mission together, Brandon and I. The guy I met in 2022, I never saw that, ever. But yet I was like, no, it's him, I know it's him, it has to be. So, I didn't really know what else to do. I just, like, needed something that was, I don't know, I guess, like a distraction against all of the pain that I had been sent through my twin. I remember the last thing that, I ever remember with my twin flame, my real one, was this really weird encounter. I can't even really describe what it was. It still kind of haunts me. I remember on a live stream one day, I was reading for some clients, and I felt him show up on my live. I thought it was him anyway. I really did. And I said out loud, like, if you really want to reach out to me, you would. And you would know that you have the permission to do so. So do it if you're going to do it. And the very next day, I get this text on my phone. It was 2 phone numbers ago, because it was the same one he had after not talking to me for years. He texted me, but it was weird. I said, Craig, is this you? Because I didn't recognize the number. I even, like, Googled the area code, and it was a totally different state, and I was like, Craig, is this you? And he's like, yeah. Who else would it be? And I was like, wait, like, my Craig? This was, like, not even 24 hours after I told him to text me. So I'm just like, okay, what the fuck? He's like, your Craig? Yeah, this is your Craig. And I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute. And so we texted for, like, I don't know, like, half the day. And it was fun. It was flirty. It was like, I don't know, it was still really, really uneasy, though. It was very uncomfortable. It was fun and free-flowing, and, like, we made each other laugh and stuff. But it was, like, really awkward. I was like, why does this feel so weird? And then I started noticing that when he would, like, type in emojis, like smiley faces and stuff, they were black guys. And I was like, wait a minute. My Craig is white. So, is this, like, a friend's phone? And he changed it to a white guy emoji when I noticed it and called it out. And he's like, is that better? I was like, no, this isn't better. This is not you. Who is this? And he's like, I swear to God, that's my name, Craig. And I was like, okay, this is my Craig, though, right? This is like, and he's like, let me just ask you. Because I was like, I said, with this kind of charm, there's got to be, like, a ton of girls in your phone. Why are you texting me? Who is this? And he was like, why do you think I would just randomly text you at, like, 2 a.m? Why would I just randomly text somebody's phone if it wasn't who you thought it would be? There was this like weirdness about it. It was all just so fucking weird. I don't know how else to explain it. And so I'm like, you know what? I need to go. So I put the texting on pause and I went inside and took a salt bath. I'm like, God, that's a headache and a half when you have to go take a fucking bath just to be able to handle somebody's negative energies. So then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I can't even go half a day texting the dude without needing a salt bath and some holy water. I'm gonna just not and say I did. So I said, all right, here's the thing. I'm not texting you anymore. I want you to call me right now. He's like, really, right now? I was like, yes, we're talking on the phone right now. Call me. So he did. And when he answered, he was like, hi. I was like, who the fuck is this? It wasn't Craig. But he's like, I swear to everything, my name is Craig, though. And he sounded very, very believable. So I was like, okay, but you know, the name is pretty common. Didn't think anything of it, really. I mean, I did. I thought a lot of it, but I thought, well, there's obviously a reason that this is happening. I'm going to keep talking to him. So I get into the conversation, and he's telling me all this biblical stuff. He's like, don't entertain spirits. Don't entertain strangers. They may be spirits unaware, or something like that. In the Bible, it's like warning people, don't mess around with people that you don't know. These energies that you don't know. I knew that there was something amiss. And for the life of me, because this happened a month after I met Brandon, I thought that I was getting closure from my twin. Turns out, I don't even know that was my twin flame. I thought for the longest time, though, it was like a friend of his or something, or like a glitch in the fucking Matrix. I don't know how to explain it. It almost felt like my twin was somehow manipulating dark energies to get a message to me, even though it wasn't him. I don't know. I know it sounds crazy. I sound insane, but the things that this guy said to me, verbatim, my twin has said to me before. And it was the weirdest thing. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go. Really great meeting you. And he's like, oh, don't leave yet. You know, no, let's just talk a little bit more. And I was like, I was in my car, just like I am right now. And it was about dusk. It was just getting dark. And I remember I was like, listen, man, I thought that you were someone else. You lied to me. Like, you're a liar, okay? First of all, I don't talk to liars. Second of all, I don't trust you for shit. Third of all, okay, I don't really appreciate you wasting my entire fucking day trying to convince me that you were someone else when you're not. And then he got like really, really angry, and he started telling me like, listen, you don't want to mess with me. You don't want to mess with me because I know some people in some pretty high places. He was indicating that he was in a coven. He was telling me that he was in a coven. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm going to try to get as much out of this guy as I can. So I started asking him things like, well, tell me about the group that you're in then, or, you know, prove it. And he was like, no, I've already said too much, actually. So then I started to think logically, yet spiritually at the same time. And I asked Archangel Michael to help me to get the truth out. And then right when I did, this black SUV pulled up next to me in the parking spot. And it was already nighttime. I'm a single woman in an area that I don't really even trust. And here it is. This guy, get out of the SUV and look me dead in the eye as this guy's saying, you really don't want to mess with me. So I was like, all right, you know what? This only happened when I called on Archangel Michael. There was almost interference happening in the phone call too. It like kind of went all staticky, and he started like stuttering, and he was like, no, I've already said too much. I can't tell you anymore. And it was like, this guy was part of whatever fucking group. I know it. I know that there's something there. And I still can't figure out what it is. I'll probably never be able to guess, but Oh my god. And the train, this fucking train. If anybody has ever watched my channel, like, long enough, you guys know that that train represents black magic for me. And here the fuck it is. Here it is right now. Look. This is the point in everybody's spiritual awakening journey where you know the truth, you speak about the truth, and you know it to the core of your being, but you also realize that other people will look at you like you're batshit crazy. And there has to come that day where you look at it and you're like, I don't care what other people think of me. I know the truth is the truth. And I think that this is where I kind of, for the longest time, was afraid to tell my story. Because, well, I mean, it'll make you look crazy. Anybody would look insane talking about stuff like this. But I know that also being bedridden, scared as shit about moving forward in my life because I'm sick and I can't do anything because the universe has basically brought me to my knees and saying, you need to look at this. It's like, I guess I'd rather be judged for being crazy than to actually be crazy. Like, I know what's happening. I mean, I might not know all of it, the intricacies. I might not know what the origin of that story really is, that guy that texted me. I don't know much about a lot of things, but I know a little about a little. And I do realize, though, that on this journey, especially when you're alone and you don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of, and you don't have anybody to help ground you and tether you to reality, it can seem really crazy. But I'm not crazy. The things that have been happening to me are so fucking real. It's so visceral. It's an actual thing. Like, it's not just me pulling smoke out of my ass. This stuff is actually fucking happening to me. So, I actually know now that Brandon is in fact my false twin flame. And the guy that supposedly died but then didn't is my real true twin. And because I'm a soul walk-in, I died in 2019. I actually had a near-death experience in 2019. So it would make sense that my true twin flame did as well. He is a soul walk-in as well. Although, he doesn't, I don't know. He's kind of like, I don't think he's as ready for that as I am. So I don't know if he probably doesn't believe me. I've told him, I've insinuated, I've hinted, I've basically all but come out and said it. You know, I didn't use the word soul walk-in, but I implied, like, listen, bro, you're, like, not the same guy. Just letting you know. And a mutual friend of ours actually told him the same thing. He's like, yeah, you know, honestly, she's right. You're kind of not the same person. He's like, you're not even the same guy you were, like, a year ago. You're kind of not the same guy. She's got a point. And he said it right in front of him. And this guy isn't even spiritual. Anyway, I think he might have been meaning it like, you're just not the same guy. You've changed so much. But I meant it as, like, nah, bro. You're a whole fucking different soul. Like, that's what I mean. So, I don't know. I know how it sounds. But this is my life. Like, that's why when I advertise for one-on-one coaching, I tell you guys the weirder the better. Like, I'm not fucking around when I say that. The weirder the better. Have you seen Bigfoot? A UFO? Fucking call me. Have you been abducted this week? Call me. I happen to believe that my twin flame died in my lifetime and then came back as another man. So, yes, that's what I believe. And it's crazy. I know. Sometimes the craziest part is like when I'm watching a tarot reading and the tarot reader will give both of their names in the same reading. She'll just be like, oh, I'm getting the name blank and blank. And I'm like, oh, God. Jeez. Just right back to back like that. And then yesterday I was watching a movie and the credits were their two names with the same last name. So they were brothers in the credits, but I was like, oh my gosh, that's just funny. But yeah, see, it's things like that. It's like, you can either make those synchronicities mean something or they can mean nothing. It can either mean that you're crazy and delusional and you've done lost your fucking mind, or it can mean you're going through a spiritual awakening and the universe is trying to show you something. So, at this point, what I've been trying to do for a really long time, for 34 years, is avoid magic, avoid talking like this, because my grandmother was bipolar schizophrenic when I was in school. Like, I was a little girl, and she would have to go to these outpatient behavioral clinics and get, like, electroshock therapy and straitjacket treatment. Like, that was no fucking joke. At 7 years old, watching her go through an insanity plea, like, I didn't want to ever talk like this out loud. Ever. So, now I'm at rock bottom in a fucking tiny ass little apartment, bedridden, stuck to just me in my bed. And I'm like, all right, well, fine, universe, you win. What do I have to do? Oh, yeah, admit the truth. Even though it's going to make me sound crazy. Okay, no problem. I'll do it. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. It's just my reputation we're talking about. But yeah, so am I insane? No. I mean, I don't know, maybe. I mean, I feel like anybody that probably says no, they're not insane, probably might be a little twinge insane, but I don't know anymore. I'm on this spiritual journey, and I've seen it all. I've seen everything, bro. Like hordes of flies, incubus demon. I've seen Slenderman, fairies. No joke. I've seen the Fae. I've seen angels. I've seen zombies, man. In the astral plane, they're not really zombies. They're like these handler-looking things. They're really fucking gross. Invisible, like, gremlin, alien-looking fuckers. Look, I've seen it all. And I guess I just didn't want to say that I've seen it all. I didn't want to put myself out there as being this crazy. I'm not crazy. I know people will judge me for that, you know? And I know my twin, like, when I first met him again 3 or 4 months ago, he was so terrified for me. He was like, I would talk like this in front of all of his friends who are all witches, but he doesn't even get that. He doesn't get that he's dealing with warlocks and witches. Like, when I was in there in his, because he's a Hierophant, so he's like me. He's very spiritual, and he teaches people more about religion than spirituality like I do. But point is, all of his friends are just not actually friends, okay? So I would go in there and I'd be like, listen, guys, don't you understand word witchery, bro? Like, you are literally speaking death over people's life in here. It was like, it wasn't YouTube, it was a different app. And I was like, listen, bro, you guys are legit talking about, like, people's health, their vitality, like their money. You're talking about people's looks and how they dress. You're talking about all this, right? But you call each other friends, and then you're making fun of how people look and act. Like, it was just like a roasting club, basically. It was just basically all it was an echo chamber of these people who are extremely powerful with a very wicked heart. And they were all just talking to each other about how ugly all of them were. Oh, well, you're stupid, but you're bald. No, you're fat, though. But you're ugly. Well, yeah, but your wife did that. And you, oh, my God. I'm like, bro, can you, like, grow the fuck up? Grow up. So anyway, yeah, no, that was like 4 months ago. And I'm not sure what's changed. I hope they grew up. It would be great. But anyway, that was a coven. It was a coven in his past life, and it's a coven in this one. The only difference now is, supposedly, my twin has gone to the light. We shall see. I don't know. That's what my guides keep telling me, and that's what I keep trying to believe, because I love love, and I'm a hopeless fucking romantic. And I'm like, if I can just believe for 2 seconds that maybe this guy is getting it through his thick skull, maybe he's leaving his toxic friends. Or at least their toxicity, you know? He doesn't have to leave them behind. Just at least, like, draw a boundary or two. Anyway. So, yeah, that's, like, one thing that I've got going against me right now is this whole, like, I believe in love, but does love believe in me? Like, I can't do it anymore, man. And then I've been crying for days about Brandon and having to leave Brandon behind, because the only way I even knew Brandon was a false twin flame was because I met my real one. And guys, you don't really know what love is not until you see real love. One thing that I noticed I never felt with Brandon was secure. I never felt secure in myself. I always felt like, because I made more money than him, because I already knew my life purpose, that I was like somehow punished for making money. So on my live streams, I didn't know this, but I was accidentally like sabotaging my own bank account. Because I kind of felt this weird energy on there, and it was always like this guilt and shame to do really well for myself. So my independent woman status kind of just became woman. Less independent. More just kind of like, yeah, I hope I can pay my bill today. And it was like really, really bad, because I had all this confidence at first. I was a bad bitch. I mean, I was bringing in money, paying for my own shit. Like, I was so good in my own energy. And then, he started following me, stalking me, watching me. And then so did my family when I told them to leave as well. And that didn't. So evil eye is a real thing. And it's like every time I would like manifest a new client to pay for a reading, there was like this weird guilt. Like this weird shame and guilt would come over me. It's like, oh, how dare you? How dare you? You shouldn't be successful around him. He's not going to like that very much. So yeah, that's basically what I had to say today to feel better in my own energy. I have to leave my false twin flame, Brandon, behind. I did an unbinding spell yesterday, trying to remove him out of my energy. Did some cord cutting. Had some Reiki done. I'm feeling overall like a lot better, like 90% better, I'd say. But there's still this fear that I have that, like, okay, I'm about to say this out loud to the world, and I know he's gonna hear it because he watches my channel. And also my twin flame does too, so either way, they're both gonna fucking know in about 2.2 seconds. So I'm just like, kind of, fuck it. Like, let's just see what happens, Put it out there for the world. Like, can you handle my crazy? Because if you can't handle my crazy, like, okay, don't call me. Like, don't call me. Like, let's not be friends. Don't date me. If you can't handle this, then, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Go back to Boringville, where shit sucks all the time. Because at least in this level of crazy, at least 50% of the day, I might have a chance of smiling. So, I mean, yeah, is it crazy to talk like this? Yeah, and I didn't want to. But I also didn't want to be bedridden for the last 4 or 5 days. So, you just have to do what you have to do. And the universe is forcing me to tell you guys boldly that, well, quite frankly, I believe in some crazy shit. So, yeah, dead people, they're not really dead, okay? They live on forever, and they watch you poop. And then, trains can be haunted, and it could be a glitch in the matrix to just fuck with you. If you've ever had anybody send some nasty energy your way, evil eye is a real thing, and can wipe out your bank account faster than you can say bankruptcy. And yeah, can a soul go from one body to another? Quite the theory. Anyway, so this is what I have to talk about. And now that I feel so much better, because it's always better out than in. Honestly, holding this shit in is just, it's killing me. Quite literally killing me, so I can't do that anymore. And yeah, it feels so good. But there is always this weird transition phase. Like, after you do something like this, there's always those straggler energies that you have consistently fed with your fear for a while in the 3D until it like purges its way out. Sometimes I'll get really bold and really confident because my ass was forced to do something like this. And then I'll have people that'll attack me and be like, oh, well, yeah, but I think you're fucking insane. And wow, Slenderman, huh? What's he like? I've seen so many people And so many times this has happened. Like I'll just have this one day where it's just like bleh, word vomit. And I'll tell everybody everything that I've ever done ever. And then it's like these weird like energies that kind of need to filter out. Oh my god, that guy. Guys, come on. That guy's hoodie said take charge. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna take charge. If any of those little gremlin looking motherfuckers come into my comment section and try to tell me that I'm crazy, I might agree with you. I'm not even gonna sit here and be like, yeah, you're gonna get pummeled, bro. You can go to hell. You can go to hell. No, I'm gonna be like, I think you're right. I should probably go see somebody. No, I think what happens is you get to rock bottom and bedridden for 5 days, and then you're like, all right, well, it is what it is. Am I crazy? Yeah, maybe. Next I'll be talking about how, like, I swear to everything I saw Bigfoot in the woods, and he was waving and he was throwing a birthday party for his kids. Like, I mean, I know it's crazy, guys, but it's my life. Okay? It's my life, and I'd really appreciate it if people would appreciate it. And I'd really respect it if you just respect it and be like, you know what? Does she sound a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Sure. But I can dig it. All right? Because, like, I accept it. But see, I only just started accepting it, I don't know, 40 minutes ago. I wouldn't have come out and told you guys about it at all had I not been bedridden. So, I'm tired of the universe telling me to be my authentic self and me not listen. And I get bad karma for not doing that. So you can only be as authentic as you are authentic. And I can't sit here promoting authenticity like, hey guys, let's be authentic together. Yeah, let's be all like spiritual and authentically fucking badass. And then hide who I really am. This is who I really am. I'm this weirdo that talks to herself in her car and thinks that literally every single car that comes by is a message from God. Yeah, all the while holding sage in her hand. Like, come on, this is me, and if you don't like it, don't like it, okay? If you do like it, hit me up. I'd love to read for you. But yeah, that's just one thing. I have to be a little bit more crazy because, well, the world is already crazy, and I think people just want to feel safe in their crazy. So, anyway, I don't even know if this thing's still recording. My God, I talked for so fucking long. But yeah, okay, so Brandon, if you're listening, it's over. Let's go, Brandon. Gotta go, man. You gotta go. But as for Craig, the past version, you're gone. You're long gone. And the new version of Craig, my true twin flame, you're too sexy for your own good. And it's on, like Donkey Kong. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. I know I will be, because I'm going to go inside and try to cough up a lung and see if it works. I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.